Welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher, awaiting the presence of the phenom Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us on Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem. Loaded show this evening, so we're not going to waste any time. We're going to dive right on in. Monday Night Raw, the go-home edition of Monday Night Raw before this Sunday's Extreme Rules horror show. And we started it off, what else is new, an in-ring segment. We had the VIP Lounge MVP, and his guest was Dolph Ziggler, interrupted by Drew McIntyre. Good segment with MVP and Ziggler using solid heel logic while McIntyre showed good fire while making his match with Ziggler feel personal. But, it was what it was. And, fine segment what it was. I mean, and it's a shame, really. The only nitpick I really have with this, in trying to keep Ziggler and McIntyre from fighting before Extreme Rules, WWE Creative has failed to advance their storyline beyond the premise the heel presented on his first night back with the brand. Ziggler is still taking credit for McIntyre's success. The champ is still brushing it off, and fans still have no reason to invest one way or the other. And it's unfortunate as well, because Ziggler and McIntyre, they have a very real opportunity to have a show-stealing match on Sunday night. They're talented enough to have a damn good wrestling match, but rather than having excitement and anticipation on their side, they limp into this pay-per-view with little more than apathy accompanying them. But, it is what it is. But, it's an indictment on a creative team that has devoted more time to setting up a match, the eye for an eye match. Wait till you hear how they're going to do that. Than paying attention to its champion and a rivalry that could serve both him and his challenger. Even though the segment was fine, that's just my only little nitpick. So, we'll address that on Friday night on the Cerebral Smack Talk when we do our Extreme Rules preview show. So, nothing more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, quick thought.
I mean, you pretty much summed it up. It was a solid segment, no doubt about it. And the only thing is, it's lacking the intensity, it's lacking the fire, and that's one thing that I wish it would be more of. But I mean, they did a decent job with the storyline. So I mean, nice little push for Extreme Rules, and there's really nothing more to add. So Anthony, it's yours.
Keep your mic on, MF. You'll be starting off this our first match of the evening. Now, this Monday Night Raw this evening was built as a night of grudge matches, and 4 matches were advertised in advance, and here was the first of them: a tag team elimination match. Andrade and Angel Garza squaring off against the Viking Raiders, and we had Eric eliminated by Andrade following a hammerlock DDT. Then Andrade was eliminated by Ivar after a kick to the head and a spin kick to the head. And then after a distraction, Garza managed to roll up Eric and got his shoulders down just enough for a 1-2-3. No pulling of the tights or anything. Andrade, Angel Garza win the match. Total time 9 minutes and 25 seconds. Now, MF, was this a championship committee moment here? Did Andrade and Angel Garza maybe put themselves perhaps in contention, or not really?
I mean, in one way, yes. In another way, no, because of the fact that they need to beat the Street Profits. Okay, it's fine that you beat the Viking Raiders and whatnot, and that's cool, but has that broken you away from the pack to make you a legitimate contender for the Raw Tag Team titles? I think the jury's out to lunch. I'm sorry. I think right now, you can't say yes, you can't say no. It's a nice win. No doubt about it. It definitely puts them in contention, but are they worthy of tag team title shot? I don't know, Anthony. I mean, you they're being like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They had this big win a couple of weeks ago, then they got fed to the big show on 2-on-1 and lost that. Now they get another win tonight. I mean, it's kind of a seesaw right now. You don't know what WWE is looking for or the championship committee is looking for. So, I mean, have they put themselves into contention? Yes. Are they worthy of the title shot? Yes. Do they get the title shot? I don't know. I think that's the big question. But I guess we'll wait and find out. Anthony, it's yours. My rating for the fight is 2.5 to 3.
Exactly. 2.5 to 3 is my rating as well. You can argue the merits of an elimination match determining which team is the best and most prepared to challenge for the Raw Tag Team Championships, but the strength of this was the storytelling within. On more than one occasion, Andrade was devoted to the idea of teaming with Garza to win the tag titles, even when his partner may not have shared his enthusiasm. So much so that Garza's win can be completely attributed to El Idolo saving him from defeat again in the closing minutes of the bout. There is definitely clear tension and ego at play here, and it will be interesting to see if the heels can coexist long enough to perhaps defeat the Street Profits and win the tag team titles. So that's all there really is to say on that. All right. Of course, the saga with Ruby Riott and the Iconics continue, but it took an interesting twist. The first of two big returns in the women's division. The first return, Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is back, and she teamed up with Ruby Riott. They went up against the Iconics. This is unfortunately going to be a cutout here. 3.5-minute bout. Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, they win the match. Bianca Belair with the KOD on the Femme Fatale, Billie Kay, for the 1-2-3. A little too much of a sprint for the bout to really be better than average, but it was nice to see Ruby Riott pick up her first win on Raw in over a year. It was also a welcome return for Belair, who is the most athletically gifted and charismatic young star in the women's division. She has every tool necessary to be the face of the division for years to come. But that can only happen with more television exposure. She looked mostly crisp and brought an energy to the bout it may not have had otherwise. What is of interest now is Liv Morgan's role in all of this. After she was attacked last week, the question is who is responsible. Knowing WWE, there will be some convoluted reason that it was Belair to really drive a wedge between her and Riott. I'm hoping that's not the case because there is a more interesting story yet to be told between Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, and I still believe the long-term plan is to reunite Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan and reform the Riott Squad. So, we'll have to wait and see on that. So, that was an NA fight. And now for the other big return. We were about to get more silliness with R-Truth and Akira Tozawa. R-Truth challenged Akira Tozawa to a 24/7 title match. And then the other big return in the women's division. The Queen of Spades, the submission magician herself, Shayna Baszler. Oh, man. I honestly had no idea Baszler was coming back tonight. WWE could really build the women's division right now around Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair. A big shot in the arm for the Raw women's division. As you know, the two biggest women in our division. One's expecting and the other is taking some much needed time off. But WWE Creative finally remembered and booked her to throw a couple of fools around the ring before cutting the tonally perfect promo. It worked, and if she is allowed to do that more consistently without getting caught up in food fights inside WWE Tower, she will find the success she should have achieved back at WrestleMania. With Bayley and Sasha playing the more traditional heel role and Asuka becoming the eccentric and entertaining babyface, the women's division needs that imposing threat, and Shayna Baszler is exactly that. And her return, I believe, MF, could not have come at a better or more opportune time. So, you want to give a quick thought on this? Shayna Baszler coming back as well as Bianca Belair?
Yeah, first off, as far as Bianca Belair comes back, that was a nice surprise to see her. And, you know, like you said, I wonder what they're going to do with Ruby and with Liv. I was hearing the same thing about maybe a reuniting of the Riot Squad with them two together. What is Bianca's development on that? I think it's kind of maybe that might be just a one-off, because who knows how that's gonna play out. I mean, that might be just a one time thing. You never know, Anthony. Hopefully Bianca could just be on her own and just shine, because that's what she more is. As far as Shayna Baszler goes, a lot of people thought that WWE gave up on Shayna Baszler too soon. There's the rumors about McMahon not liking Shayna or her look, whatever. She was very high on Paul Heyman. Heyman's no longer on Raw, and a lot of people's thinking, Shayna's gonna end up being like every other talent on NXT. They're just gonna get buried, and that's the end of the submission magician, like you said, Anthony. That would have been the one. That would have been the one moment where I'd be banging the gavel, saying, "Hey, SmackDown does better with their talent. Come to us." But no, it sounds like Raw's definitely got something for her. Her promo was very effective, very strong, which is what she is meant to be. And I think they really did a good job. So no, nothing more to say. Solid returns for both ladies here tonight. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. And we move on to the second of the 4 grudge matches that were advertised for tonight. Well, actually, it started off as an in-ring segment, a promo, Seth Rollins cutting a promo, interrupted by his opponent, Kevin Owens. And then Murphy came out at the request of Rollins, but then Aleister Black was right behind. So this was more like a rare 3-for-1 deal, because it set up a match with Aleister Black and Murphy. Aleister Black won the match via disqualification in 5.5 minutes. That's obviously going to be an NA, even though it was a fun little sprint for the 5.5 minutes we got. But this was the big one right here. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and by the way, Rey and Dominic Mysterio got involved as well. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, the return match from WrestleMania. And Kevin Owens wins again. He defeats Seth Rollins with a Stone Cold Stunner off of distractions by the Mysterios and Aleister Black. Total time of the fall, 15 minutes and 45 seconds. Now, MF, before you start off, this is something that definitely needs to be addressed here. We were all wondering what is the concept for this eye for an eye match? Well, very simply, did you really think that WWE was going to be that barbaric and actually do a legitimate eye pulling here? No. CGI technology is going to be used for this fight. So, but even with the CGI, it's probably still going to be,
it's going to be graphic. It's going to be graphic. That's all I'm just saying. Put the women and children to bed. If you're squeamish, don't look. That's all we're saying, because from what I heard, what's going to happen, somebody's losing their eye. Legitly. Somebody's going to lose their eye. CGI, like, you can use all the camera tricks and everything else in the world for this, but it's going to be a disgusting sight to see on Sunday night. And I'm going to say it. If there's one way that would be perfect for Seth Rollins to take some time off, this would be the moment that you let Rollins lose this fight.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I agree.
Because if you think about it, he's going to be a father in December, and an eye-type injury like this would take a long time to heal.
Oh, yeah.
You might not have anything to do for him after that point, or could this be the end of Rey Mysterio? Because Mysterious have some contract issues lately with WWE, and I think they said he's actually working without a contract right now. So maybe this is Mysterio's way of leaving the company. Maybe have Dominic take over, and you go from there. I mean, this is going to be tough to call. Now, if it was closer to December, I would say Rollins is losing. Guaranteed he's losing. Because, like I said, his girl is expecting. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. Obviously, Owens versus Rollins is the fight of the night.
Second.
Great match. Really? Okay.
Agreed.
I disagree.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna give this about 3.5 stars. I thought this was a great fight. I thought it was a great psychology match. Great matchup all the way around. So no, I got really nothing more to add, Anthony. The first fight was a wash. Second fight, the Owens versus Rollins was great. And as far as what we're going to say for Sunday night, I guess I'll leave my prediction till then. And as far as the segment goes, I thought it was good all the way around as well. So, nothing more.
Yeah. This was elevated above average status by Rollins admitting the ridiculousness of the eye for an eye match and the fact that he thought Mysterio was simply using a metaphor. Otherwise, it was every back and forth that descended into chaos, and that gave us the Murphy and Black match. And given how many times those two clashed over the last year, it certainly fit the grudge theme of tonight's show. No question about it. It was an NA fight. I mean, it is what it is. And but as far as Rollins and Owens goes, it was my second best fight of the night. I'm going to give it about 3.5, teetering on about 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star for me. It would have worked so well as the pay-per-view culmination of a long-term feud. Rollins has made enemies of so many that them costing him the win is exactly the sort of comeuppance a storyline of this sort demands. Instead, this is just a setup for a ridiculously hokey, unnecessary, violent bout at Extreme Rules that will probably leave us fans cringing for all the wrong reasons. With that aside, Rollins and Owens are seemingly unable to have a bad match at this point. Their in-ring chemistry is so damn good that they can make just about anything work. Regardless of what is going on around them, this was no exception. The booking does raise one question. How can WWE justify Rollins beating Mysterio in the blow-off to their rivalry when everything about this program has pointed to Ray getting his revenge on pay-per-view? After all, 50-50 booking suggests Rollins losing here all but ensures a win for him on Sunday night. But other than that, though, 3.5 to 4 stars. Actually 3.5 to 3 3/4, like I said. Second best fight for me. R-Truth against Randy Orton. Yeah, we all know how this ended. Randy Orton wins the match 31 seconds. Absolute dud. I mean, come on.
No, I have to ask.
Yes.
Because Orton pinned R-Truth and R-Truth was the 24/7 champion, why was the belt not on the line? I mean, it is 24. I know. I'm just trying to be a wise ass. I'm just trying to be a wise guy, okay? That's all I'm just saying. I'm just trying to be a wise guy. Calm down, Florio. You don't need to jump on this end. I'm just saying.
I was gonna say you're not serious. Randy Orton, 24/7 champion. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, like I said, the belt's supposed to be defended 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
There are exceptions.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying. I just had to throw that out there. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm just having fun with you. You know that. I mean, Randy Orton as 24/7 champion. Do you know how far below him that belt is? That ridiculous.
Oh, obviously. Yeah, no doubt about it.
We all know, if the rumors are true, Randy Orton is going to be very most likely going after the big prize, if you know what I mean, come next month. But if those rumors are true, And if they are, I mean, it could be that could be one hell of a title match. There's no doubt about it if it's true. But we got to wait and see. Maybe we'll find out next week, as we will start to build the SummerSlam next week. But anyways, yeah, absolute dud. I mean, there's no doubt about it. No comment here. Next week though, on Monday Night Raw, and I'm surprised they didn't add this to the pay-per-view. Randy Orton versus The Big Show. They're going to be going at it in what is going to be a non-sanctioned match. So that's all there really is to say on that. Then from there, we had Bobby Lashley against Ricochet. Bobby Lashley wins the match 3 minutes and 45 seconds. That's really a cutout here. Another throwaway bout, to be honest with you. It is what it is. Not as fun as that fun little sprint they had recently, but it is what it is. So I'm not even going to comment on that. Main event time. And by the way, Orton and R-Truth was the third of the four. Here's the final of the four, and this was the big one, the main event. The women's tag team titles on the line. The champions, the golden role models from Friday Night SmackDown. SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley and Sasha Banks defending against the challengers and former champions in their own right, Raw Women's Champion Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors. When all was said and done, the winners of the match in 18 minutes and 20 seconds, and still the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Yes, MF, you can let out that big old sigh of relief. I know you were. MF was sweating during this match, and it's not just because of the humidity out there. But anyways, the Golden Role Models retain 18 minutes and 20 seconds, the time of the fall. This, to me, was the fight of the night on my end. I'm giving this between 4 and 4.25 stars. Another week, another damn good women's main event. I mean, last week it was Asuka and Bayley tearing the house down. This time around, we get the tag team bout. The only nitpick another small nitpick, a longer uninterrupted pay-per-view bout really should be a thing WWE Creative gives its fans. This was really good, really fun, and would have been even better on both fronts without the commercial breaks. That's a minor gripe, but what was a stellar showing, particularly by the underrated Kairi Sane. She sold to perfection and fired up late in the bout when appropriate. Bayley and Sasha made her look even better, something they have done for anyone they have shared the ring with over the last 2 months. While this did not really put over Banks, Sasha, and Asuka, it did continue both women's streaks of superb in-ring work. Given the fact that WWE Creative completely dropped the ball with the build to Extreme Rules, this at least gave the incredible women's division another fantastic platform, something that is all that is needed to ensure a successful segment or fight. So, great near falls down the stretch. I mean, there were those hope spots. I was really rooting for the Kabuki Warriors to bring the women's tag team titles back to Raw, but unfortunately, they'll be staying with MF and Team Blue, at least for now. And there's really nothing more to say. I know MF and I disagree on this one, but for me, this was my fight of the night. 4 to 4.25 stars. Well done, ladies. You did it again. You tore the house down. So, MF, I got one word for you when it comes to you.
Yeah, no doubt. It was definitely a great main event. It was a very hard hitting matchup. But at the end of the day, this is one of the rare times where SmackDown gets the win over Monday Night Raw on a Raw show. It doesn't happen very often, but we got it, and it continues the build. It continues the story of them becoming one of the best champions in WWE today. We could say all we want to say about, you could knock them for, all the negativity that they've done. You could knock them for all the victories that they've done up to this point. But the thing is that they continue to deliver. They continue to be, and regardless of what Michael Bullock may think, regardless of the negativity that you're gonna get from a lot of people about Sasha and Bayley, but they did what they had to do. They got the job done, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So this was an excellent main event, no doubt about it. Yeah, I'll give you 4 as well. And like I said, this was a solid match. I enjoyed the body of work and everything else, and it was a perfect main event for Monday Night Raw. So I got nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, final thoughts. MF, how did Raw do when it comes to their go home show for Extreme Rules?
Solid Raw. No, it was a good show. It was very solid. You did some matches that really quantified the body of work and everything else. Got some excitement for Sunday night. The women right now are definitely the best reason why you're watching Monday Night Raw right about now. So the Asuka versus Sasha Banks title fight has been amplified more than ever before, and that's going to be an incredible match. As far as anything else goes, I mean, paint by numbers is what I like to call it. It was there, it was solid, it was okay, but at the end of the day, yeah, this was a solid Monday Night Raw and a good go-home show for them. They should be very proud. Anthony, it's yours.
Definitely. It was overall it was a better than average show. They filled the time nicely. They provided solid hype for most of the Raw bouts heading into Extreme Rules. And that's really all. If I had to put a number on it, I would give it 6.5, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So, that's really all there is to get into on that. Now I'm going to do my Tony's Take a little bit different this evening. But before I do, let's quickly run down the Raw side of things for Extreme Rules. Of course, we know Drew McIntyre against Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship. Interpromotional matchup: Asuka defending the Raw Women's Championship against SmackDown Sasha Banks. We got Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins in the Eye for an Eye match, and Apollo Crews and MVP for the United States Heavyweight Championship. There is a possibility that we could see Garza and Andrade against the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team titles. That's a possibility, but that's not official. So that's all there is to say on that. So 3 true Raw matches, 1 interpromotional match. That's pretty much all there is for the Raw side. 2 SmackDown pure fights. MF will address that on Friday. So we all know how that will go. So, all right. So, like I said, we're going to do the Tony's Take a little bit differently this week and for this week only. Actually, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to rearrange it for the next couple of weeks, to be honest with you. So, I'm actually going to start off with 205 Live because Impact is the main event of this. So, so with all that being said, let's dive on into this latest edition of 205 Live, which was immediately following SmackDown as usual. So, a couple of interesting matches on this show, if I'm going to be honest with you. We started it off with all right, hold on. Just trying to find this here. All right, here we go. We started it off with Mansoor from Saudi Arabia. I can't believe he actually came in. They had Mansoor go up against Tahiti Miles. Mansoor wins the match 7 minutes and 44 seconds. 3-star match. It was a pretty good match. They made the most of the time given. And good stuff as Mansoor continues to improve. And then we had the Cruiserweight champion Santos Escobar squaring off against Oney Lorcan. Non-title match. Santos Escobar wins the match 8 minutes, 41 seconds. Another 3-star match. It was not really a competitive bout, but Escobar is the star, and I enjoyed the story and psychology of the match. Lorcan came in wounded, and Escobar was relentless with his targeting of the injured arm. Lorcan did the best he could, but he was a one-armed man, and he was no match for the champ. Just a wonderful story to tell with Escobar looking great and Lorcan showing great fight and defeat. Even better was that Escobar didn't need any kind of help from his boys of Legado del Fantasma. 7.5 out of 10. Great show this past week, as it was just two good but different matches. First match was a competitive sprint with some cool moves and reversals. The main event was old school destruction by the champion with great storytelling and psychology. And the show continues to be a breeze to watch, and it continues to get better every week. So 7.5 for me on that. So let's dive on into Impact Wrestling, the penultimate edition of Impact Wrestling before we get to this weekend's Slammiversary pay-per-view. We started it off with a Knockouts tag match, Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie against Kylie Ray and Susie. And the face team, Kylie Ray and Susie, get the win. 8 minutes and 22 seconds. 2.25 stars, decent little opening bout that gave Kylie and Susie a needed win after a couple of losses. Kylie looked great, and the dynamics from both teams were good. And Kylie Ray, her first big win in Impact Wrestling. You tapped out the longest Knockouts champion in history, Taya Valkyrie. That's huge. That could lead to bigger and better things down the line for her. So, nothing more to say. Then we had the Deaners against Reno Scum, Triple XL, TJP, and Falaba in a four-way match. The Deaners pick up the win, 8 minutes and 57 seconds. Yeah, 1.25 stars. This was not good. It was a slow, plodding, chaotic. It makes for an undesirable bout. They went to everyone on the gimmick too many times to hide the flaws in the bout. Triple XL continues to do anything but impress. Reno Scum, they're just there. TJP and Ba are fine, but occasionally sloppy. So not really all that good on that. Then we had the Princess Kimberly, as MF refers to her. Princess Kimberly against the Knockouts champion, Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace wins it, 6 minutes, 22 seconds, 2.5 stars. Nice hard-hitting match that both women worked well in. Not really sure Lee needed to look that competitive, but it did not hurt Jordan Grace. So by no means, I'm not going to complain about it because the match benefited. And then we had Willie Mack against Johnny Swinger disguised as Suicide. X Division title was on the line. Willie Mack winning in 1 minute and 45. Dud, no comment, move on. Really quick. When Johnny Swinger was in the original NWA TNA, I saw a match he was involved in as part of that debut edition of Impact in 60 when they were looking at the Asylum years. That Johnny Swinger was cool. This Johnny Swinger, a goof. Not a big fan. Sorry. Main event was Sami Callihan squaring off against one half of the North, Josh Alexander. It was Sami Callihan winning the match in 10 minutes and 57 seconds. This was the fight of the night for me. 2 3/4. Excuse me. 2 3/4, teetering on 3 stars. Pretty standard quality from these guys. The match was good, if not great. And the storyline aspects of Ken Shamrock coming out was expected to play into the finish in the build to Slammiversary. 7 out of 10, a step down from the previous week, only because they're having to get reactive with filler material to make up for the edits they've had to make due to recent events. Not their fault, but it made the show a little less essential viewing than the previous week, particularly since the wrestling was only fine and not great. Main event and Jordan Grace and Kimberly bouts, they're both worth checking out, as was Tommy Dreamer's promo. And if you're just getting back into Impact, the Slammiversary World Title vignette, and that's pretty. And you have, you add all that in, you have a solid, if not great, show. So 7 out of 10. That's the rating I'm going to give that. To be honest. Now, I actually heard when it comes to this week's show coming up, the Go Home edition, the Deaners are gonna team up against Triple XL in a tag bout. Ace Austin's gonna train for Slammiversary, of course, because it's the biggest match of his young career. a 10 knockout tag team match. We're going to see Taya Valkyrie, Rosemary, Kimberly, Kiera Hogan, and Tasha Steelz. And they are going to score off against Kylie Ray, Susie, Alicia Edwards, Jessica Havoc, and Nevaeh. 10 knockout tag match, because they're going to have a big gauntlet match, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. We're also going to have the contract signing for the Knockouts Championship match with Jordynne Grace and her challenger, the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. And you know what we always say about contract signings, they don't end well. Moose and the mystery partner, they're going to team up against Tommy Dreamer and Crazy Steve, and that's it. That's it for that. So that you can all expect tomorrow night. And yes, folks, good news. Impact Wrestling will be back at its normal time slot tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Last week was a one-time exception because it was Ringo Starr's 80th birthday. So they did a big special. It was amazing. So that's the reason why they pushed it back an hour last week. So 8 p.m. for that. And then the Impact in 60 following on Access TV. Or you can join MF on Twitch and go from there. So that's that. So one last order of business before we close up shop this evening. This is a very special treat for all of you out there. As you know, this Saturday night is the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary pay-per-view. And with that being said, now I don't have a full on preview because I don't think any of those are up yet. But what we can do is we can just give some small predictions of the card here. So I don't know if anything will be added, but here you go. Slammiversary will be live on pay-per-view this Saturday night from the Skyway Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. And here is the card. We're going to start it off. Well, as of now, I only see 6 matches here. They could add more. You don't know, but we'll see. We're going to start it off with Moose defending the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, the unsanctioned TNA World Heavyweight Championship, against Tommy Dreamer in an old school rules match. Based on the card here, I would probably have to say this is very likely going to be the worst fight of the night. But I got to go with Moose here because, they've been building him up as this TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He's been running around with the old TNA belt. And I'm sure Tommy Dreamer is going to give him a fight, but Tommy Dreamer matches this year have not really been all that good. And even with the old school rules, I don't know if this will be anything special. This is probably going to be the worst fight of the night for me. But nonetheless, I'm going to go with Moose to, quote unquote, retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. MF, your thoughts?
Agreed. I got Moose winning the match as well. And may I say on the side note that this TNA World Heavyweight title is actually better than the Impact Wrestling World title. Oh, I don't know why. I'm sentimental about certain titles and everything else. And I get it. But when TNA brought this belt and the last real champion was AJ Styles, this belt has so much credibility back in the day. And I know this was Dixie Carter's belt and everything else. Out of the couple of things that old battle axe was responsible for that was actually good, this was one of them. The TNA World Heavyweight title. I can't knock it. It's probably the best belt of all the belts in TNA.
Okay.
Moose wins.
All right. So let's move on to our next championship match. This will be for the Impact Tag Team Championship. They're on the line. Champions, the North, defending the titles against what they're being called the world's most dangerous tag team. The TNA Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan MF, does the North's impressive run continue, or is this unlikely, dangerous team going to be the new champs?
I gotta go with the North. I don't know why. It would be awesome to see Sami Callihan and Ken Shamrock win the belts, but I don't know. I feel like the North is a more cohesive unit. I think they're more stronger, even though I think a lot of people are very high on Sami Callihan. I mean, Sami Callihan was an unbelievable World Heavyweight Champion before he got upended by Tessa Blanchard. I think right now they want to give him a push because he deserves the push. He's one of the best things going in Impact. But I don't know. I'm very sentimental with the North. I really love what they bring to the table. So for me, just me alone, winners and still Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions, I'm going to go with the North. Anthony, it's yours.
I'm torn. I'm really torn. My gut is actually telling me to go with new champions for some odd reason. I don't know why. But and also considering that the North have been champions for just over a year now, I would like to see the North continue on. If there's one team that I would like to see personally dethrone the North, it would be TJP and Falaba. That's who I would like to see. Or maybe the Rascals. I don't know. But I don't know why, MF, but I got to go with my gut on this one. I got to say new champions. I'm going to say Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan are going to win the belts. But I would not be surprised if the North successfully defend. I wouldn't. Gauntlet for the gold to determine the number one contender for the Impact Knockouts Championship. Alicia Edwards, Jessica Havoc, Kiera Hogan, Kimberly, Kylie Ray, Nevaeh, Madison Rayne, along with Rosemary, Susie, Tasha Steelz, and Taya Valkyrie. Honestly, Taya Valkyrie does not really need this. I mean, she's already been the longest champion, so she really doesn't need it. It would be a great opportunity to elevate one of the newbies in the division. And for me, it's between two for me. I think it's either going to be Kylie Ray or Kimberly. I don't know why. I got a feeling that it might be one of those two. But if the heel wins the title, then I would have to go with Kylie Ray. But if the face wins, then I would think Kimberly. But I'm going to take a chance here. This is the toughest out of all the matches. This is the toughest one right here. I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with Kimberly. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But then again, it's understandable considering there are so many talents in this match. So I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go with Kimberly to become the number one contender. So nothing more to say. MF, very interesting field here. It's a very tough call here. But who's going to be the next number one contender for the knockout title?
You're on the right track, at least when it comes to my prediction. I'm actually going to go with Smiley Kylie Ray. And the reason why is because of the fact that she made a huge jump. Remember, she left AEW out of nowhere. Nobody knew why she left. Maybe it was injuries. Maybe it was something personal. Maybe it was something with Brandy Rhodes. There was rumors about that going around, that her and Brandy weren't getting along. There was a lot of rumors about who it could be. She has become such a ray of sunshine, literally and figuratively, in Impact Wrestling. And I really believe if you really want to give a big name an opportunity, even though Kimberly is huge, she's a monster name in the indie scene, but nobody really knew her much unless you follow Chikada, and there's really hasn't been another opportunity where she really shined. Where Kylie Ray has the name recognition already based off what she did on in AEW. So right there, that gives her the momentum that if they wanted it to put the belt around somebody, Kylie Ray would be the perfect choice. Now, do I think it could be somebody else? I mean, out of nowhere? It's possible. Like you said, this is such a deep field that I would love to see Rosemary get another shot at the title. I could see Kiera Hogan win the whole thing and get a shot at the title. But right, you're absolutely right, Anthony. The two that really stands out that would make the most logical sense right now would be A, Kylie Ray, B, Kimberly. Those are the two. Now, I don't disagree that Kimberly, you made a great choice with Kimberly, but I'm going to go with Kylie Ray. I'm going to take your other pick because it's vice versa. If Kimberly wins it, I'm ecstatic. I'm happy for her. If Kylie Ray wins it, I'm ecstatic. I'm happy for her. If Kiera Hogan gets it, well deserved. I think she also deserves at least a shot at the belt. Like you said, Taya doesn't need it. Rosemary, even though I would love to see her get another shot at the title, I don't think she really needs it right now. Neither does Madison. Now, all of the others, it's too soon to say yes or no. The two that stands out are the two we just brought up. I'm throwing Kiera as the dark horse, but I'm going to go with Kylie Ray as my official prediction.
Fair enough. I wouldn't be surprised if she won either. So, all right, moving on. X Division Championship on the line. Champion Willie Mack, or as MF Best knows him as the Mack from Lucha Underground. He's going to be defending against Chris Bay. MF, very interesting match here.
Very interesting match here, but I gotta go with Willie Mack. I just feel like he's just too strong, too powerful. Even though he doesn't fit the 205 level or whatever the limit is for the X Division nowadays, but then again, unless Impact Wrestling kind of said the hell with the weight limit now, yeah, that's what they probably did. I'm fine with it, but I'm gonna go with Mac to win and to successfully defend the title. So Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, this is another one I'm torn on. The gut tells me to go with Willie Mack to successfully defend, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Bay stole this thing. I mean, I don't know. Very tough to call here, but I'll go with the Mac for now. But if Chris Bay wins, I would not at all be surprised whatsoever. So that's all there is to say there. Knockouts Championship on the line. The champion, Jordynne Grace, defending the title against the virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. Oh, my. For right now, I got to go with Jordynne Grace to successfully defend. But here's another instance where I would not be surprised if they put the belt on Purrazzo. I mean, with all the build that Deonna Purrazzo has gotten after the Raw deal that she got in NXT and WWE, I mean, I think WWE and NXT, they really dropped the ball with the virtuosa. I mean, they could have made her, they had a chance to make her a big star, but they dropped it. Impact Wrestling is doing what they should have done. They're really, really building her up. And I mean, if she wins the title here, I would not at all be surprised. I really would not. But in this case, I got to go with my gut here. I got to go with Jordynne Grace to successfully defend the title here. But like I said, based on all the build, I would not be surprised if the virtuosa stole this. So, but for now, I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace to successfully defend the Knockouts Championship. So MF, Jordynne Grace, Deonna Purrazzo, Knockouts Championship. What a matchup this is going to be.
Absolutely. This is going to be a great title match, no doubt about it. I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace as well, even though in the back of my mind, I think Deonna Purrazzo will win the title. And if she does, and if Kylie Ray wins in that gauntlet, Deonna Purrazzo versus Kylie Ray. Think about this. An AEW cast-off versus an NXT and WWE cast-off for the Impact Wrestling Women's title.
Down the road.
What a matchup, and that would be Impact Wrestling literally sticking the middle finger at both AEW and NXT to say, look at what you had, look who we got, and we can make it, and us, Impact Wrestling, can make a better program than either one of your companies ever did. That's a slap in the face. Indeed. If that happens.
Absolutely. So we agree on Grace for now, but we wouldn't be surprised if Purrazzo stole it. So
yes.
All right, main event. Oh, is there a lot of backstory with this? It's going to be a fatal four-way matchup for the now vacated Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. Ace Austin versus Eddie Edwards versus Trey Miguel versus a mystery man. Now, as you all know, this was supposed to be a five-way match with Austin, Edwards, and Miguel, along with Michael Elgin and the champion at the time, Tessa Blanchard. But as of now, Tessa Blanchard fired for refusing to send in videotape promos for the match. They let her go. And then Michael Elgin, a victim of the Me Too movement,
Speaking out.
the speaking out movement. Yep, Michael Elgin fired for that. So those two are gone. So it's Austin, Edwards, and Miguel, along with this mystery man. And so all I know is, MF, we're going to have a new Impact World Heavyweight Champion. Who's that going to be?
Man, and the question is, who's the mystery man? Who's it going to be? Now,
one guy I thought it was, but with the recent news that came out about him, I highly doubt it's going to be him now.
yeah. I mean, you could pick anybody in the world that it could be. It could be anybody. I mean, it could be EY. It could be Eric Young. It could be, it could have been Heath Slater, but I don't think it's Slater now. Everybody was talking about maybe EC3, Ethan Carter III. I've heard rumors that he might be heading to AEW. So, I mean, there's really no one favorite here. So until we know who it is, it's way out there. I can't really say it's the mystery opponent, whoever that may be. So I kind of have to say right now, I can't pick them. If you had to force me between the three remaining guys, Trey Miguel, Eddie Edwards, and Ace Austin, I gotta say Ace Austin wins the belt. I don't know why. I just feel like he has the look. He would be the perfect World Heavyweight Champion for Impact Wrestling. So for me, if I gotta do it, Ace Austin wins the belt. Ace Austin is my prediction to win the title. Anthony, it's yours.
Do you have a prediction on who the mystery man could be, MF?
I'm gonna say Eric Young, but I'm not 1,000% convinced on it. But I do believe it's gonna be EY.
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be EY too. They teased it was a former world champion, I think. But for me, if I'm gonna be honest with you, there's if you're wondering who that name was that I was really thinking, I thought it was gonna be Rusev, aka Miro, as he's being known as. But with the news about him coming down with COVID, that's obviously off the table now. So he would be very high risk. So I don't think it's going to be him. It's probably going to be EY. But I do agree with you, MF. I got to go with Ace Austin. I mean, he's the hot hand right now in Impact Wrestling, at least in this division. Eddie Edwards, he's been the champ before. I don't think he needs it. I would love to see Trey Miguel get it. I mean, that would be awesome to see an up and coming like him come out of nowhere and win this thing. But for me, the favorite in this match is without a doubt Ace Austin. Now, if Tessa Blanchard and Michael Elgin didn't get fired, I would have gone with Michael Elgin. I would have gone with Big Mike to win the belt, hands down. But now that they're both gone, it's got to be Ace. It has to be the Ace. So I agree with MF. Ace Austin, the new Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. So that's really all there is to say on that. That all goes down Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, over on pay-per-view as part of Slammiversary. So hang on one second here. I'll get to you in a minute, Bullock. I just need to just quickly MF obviously has left the premises, so but I'm sure.
Yeah, he probably got to step out.
Well, yeah. Well, did you want to? I mean, don't you want to catch up on Raw real quick before we wrap up?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right. Michael Bullock, the Phenom, has just joined us. He came in late. As you know, Bullock we'll try not to go too long here. We'll only go down.
Yeah, I'll try not to go too long.
Yeah, the rapid fire and only on the relevant stuff.
Yeah. Keep all the crappy stuff out.
Yeah. Started it off with the VIP lounge MVP with Dolph Ziggler and interrupted by Drew McIntyre. So what'd you make of that?
Yeah, I thought it was a good segment to start it off. I mean, obviously, and let's not forget the love lost with the MVP and Drew McIntyre, especially after the recent feud with Lashley and McIntyre, and obviously in the end it was Drew McIntyre who got the best of Dolph Ziggler, but well, I mean at the end obviously we saw that Ziggler basically fired back. So, and Florio, it's the booking 101. McIntyre's definitely going over on Sunday.
Definitely. And then from there, tag team elimination match, Viking Raiders against Andrade and Angel Garza. Andrade and Angel Garza win the match in a total of 9 minutes and 25 seconds.
I'll give it about maybe 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. I mean, I was hoping for maybe a little bit more out of this based on the body of work of both of these teams, but it is what it is. So, and hopefully, maybe this is the time where Angel Garza and Andrade basically finally put their differences aside. We can only hope.
And then Bianca Belair back in the Raw Women's Division. First time we've seen her in a long time. So, yeah, you have a quick thought on that? Her and Ruby Riott, they went up against the Iconics, and they won the match 3.5 minutes. Not really the match, but Bianca Belair, the first of 2 big returns in the Raw Women's Division tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely good to see Bianca Belair back. I mean, I can't even remember the last time that we saw her, Florio.
Me neither.
I think it was. That's how long it's been since we last seen her.
She's been on Main Event.
I mean, yeah, she's been on Main Event, but not on the Monday Night Raw roster. So it's good to see her, and I gotta say, she looks real good. And yes, the match was short, but it looks like she hasn't lost a step.
And the other big return in the Raw Women's Division, the Queen of Spades, the Submission Magician, the most dominant NXT Women's Champion in history, Shayna Baszler, and she made mincemeat out of Akira Tozawa's ninjas, and so much to the point that Tozawa and Truth said, "We out."
Yeah. After what they saw, what she did to those ninjas, I think Akira Tozawa and R-Truth said, "Nah, I think we'll just take a powder." I mean, this is the first time that she's been in the ring with the men, and let's not forget at Money in the Bank, Floria, where she basically put the Kirifuda clutch on Rey Mysterio.
Right.
I mean, well, we talk about dream matches. I mean, obviously with Raquel Gonzalez and Chyna. How about Chyna and Shayna Baszler?
That would have been something. That would be something.
Put those. Yeah. Oh, one more thing. You put those two in there if Chyna was still around. This would be a woman fight.
Oh, it certainly would. Certainly would. Then from there we had Seth Rollins cutting a promo, interrupted by Kevin Owens, and then Murphy and Aleister Black came out. Murphy and Aleister Black had a match that ended with Aleister Black winning by disqualification, 5.5 minutes. But Kevin Owens against Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens winning in 15 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, this was definitely a very good match, to say the very least, when it comes to these two. We know the kind of match they definitely put on at WrestleMania, so I'll give this about 3.25, 3.5 for the effort. So nothing more to say. Let's move on.
And Sunday night, when Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins have their eye for an eye match, CGI technology is going to be used during this match. So,
oh, thank goodness for that.
Yeah, but it's still probably going to be that gruesome sight that we strongly advise parental discretion for. So
yeah, if you got children that want to watch this, I think you better put them to bed early.
Absolutely. Then from there we had let's see, jumping to relevant stuff here. We're not going to talk about Randy Orton and R-Truth. Orton won that in 31 seconds. No need. Lashley beat Ricochet in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. No need to get into that. Main event, the women's tag team titles on the line. Sasha and Bayley defending against the Kabuki Warriors. Sorry to say, man, Sasha and Bayley, they escape again. They retain the titles. 18 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, I guess we could say this was definitely the fight of the night.
Agreed.
I'm going to give this about 3.5 to 4. I mean, this was a very good tag team match to say the very least. I mean, yeah, and as you've said so many times, Florio, say what you want about Sasha and Bayley. I mean, and I've gone on the record of saying this. I can't stand their. I mean, their talent is. I mean, when it comes to their in-ring ability, it's without question the best. But when it comes to their attitude, it's pretty much left to be desired, especially me. And we don't need to rehash some of the things, especially one that really got me irritated. We're not going to get into that because if we even brought it up, I would definitely go on a rant. But not going to even waste my time with it. So yeah, so obviously with this, I think we all know the direction it's going to go, and I know you're going to want to love this, Florio. I think Asuka's going to retain the title.
I agree, but I do have a little concern though. I am a little worried, but I hope I'm wrong with that worry. So,
hey, well, wait a minute. What's your concern or worry?
Bayley could get involved, and they might want to put the title on Sasha and make Sasha a double champion with Bayley, make it even more impossible and irritating than they are right now.
Oh my gosh! If they were already irritating before, they'll be even more irritating if Sasha wins the title.
I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong, because if that happens, sir, help me. Get me some Advil, because I'm going to need it for a real long time.
I'll take some Nuprin, little, yellow, different, soon enough. So
either thing will. I'm going to need either one of those things if that happens.
I recommend the Nuprin, but Advil works good too. But anyways, your overall final thoughts on this Go Home to Extreme Rules edition of Raw tonight?
I thought it was an all right show. I mean, definitely not the best, but you definitely build some things going into this. Well, basically on the Raw side for the horror show at Extreme Rules on the Sunday evening. So now we just gotta wait and see what happens with SmackDown come Friday night. So there's nothing more to say. Florio, wrap it up.
Well, we'll address that elephant in the room in a minute. But yep, that will indeed put the ball on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. We'll next be with you Wednesday night over on MF's channel, BraceFan 95. I'm guessing it'll be at the usual 10:30 time slot for Wednesday Night Mayhem. AEW, NXT. We're gonna review both shows. AEW Fight for the Fallen, and it will be headlined by Jon Moxley and Brian Cage for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I beg your pardon. And then from there, NXT will be headlined by Io Shirai and Tegan Nox for the NXT Women's Championship. And we'll also very likely hear from our brand new double champion, NXT champion and North American champion, the Limitless one, Keith Lee. So that'll all go down on Wednesday. And then Friday night, same time, 10:30, it'll be the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF as well. we'll review Friday Night SmackDown, which will feature the phenomenal AJ Styles defending the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship against Matt Riddle. Oh boy, that's got potential. And then from there, we'll also give you our preview of this weekend's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. And then Sunday night, immediately following Extreme Rules, MF will be on hand again, as we will have our recap of Extreme Rules. And then next Monday night, we'll do it all again with Ridiculously Raw. As next week, we're going to be starting the road to the SummerSlam. So, oh boy, we're going to have some fun with that. So, and then some other exciting things coming up, especially the return of Strictly Sports, and within the next couple of weeks. So, we'll let you know about that starting next week, and that's it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem over on MF's channel, Race Fan 95. It's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson, who's on her who's on her continued leave of absence. We wish her the absolute best. We hope to have her back soon, and of course, always and forever the hardcore pipe bomb, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, watching for style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days, and until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.